Hello there, and welcome back to ElfMom's Kitchen. Now, it's almost Thanksgiving, and nothing says Thanksgiving like a nice pecan pie. That said, let's talk about that pecan pie. Because when I say pecan pie, what you're probably thinking of is not what we're gonna make here today. In fact, some of you are probably thinking, Elf Mom, I don't really like pecan pie. And I'm willing to bet you're probably thinking of the kind of pecan pie that you can find at the store around this time of year. A gooey, goopy mess of artificial flavor, artificial color, sometimes barely any pecans. So, I'm here to present to you a better recipe for pecan pie that I think you will like. So, the reason that you think of pecan pie the way you think of pecan pie is really because of corn syrup. At a certain point, corn syrup sort of came up and took over pecan pie. Now, I don't like those kinds of pecan pies, but that, coupled with how most commercial pies are garbage due to too much sugar and just no flavor, poor ingredients, poor quality, no care. I'm gonna make you a pecan pie without any corn syrup, and I think you're gonna like it. So, let's talk about the ingredients. So, what you're gonna need is 1 cup of whole milk, 1 cup of brown sugar, 3 eggs, 1 tablespoon of flour, half a cup of finely chopped pecans, pinch of salt, and a pie crust. So first off, you're gonna need a pie crust. Now, I do have a recipe for a pie crust that's on my Twitter. Go check it out. It's the pinned comment on the top. You can't miss it. Now, whether you decide to make a pie crust or use a store-bought crust, there's no shame in it. I do it myself from time to time. Regardless, if you have a pie crust in your pie dish, what do we do next? So, our filling is a fairly liquid filling, and it's not going to cook all that long. Whenever you have a very liquid filling, like a custard, you don't want to just put it in your raw pie crust and stick it in the oven, because what's going to happen is you're going to get a soggy bottom on your pie crust, and nobody likes that. So we're going to blind bake it first. Basically, we're going to pre-bake our crust before we put the pie in the oven. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your pie crust, and you're going to line it with some tin foil, put in some dried beans or pie weights if you have them, and stick them in a preheated 425-degree oven. Now you're going to leave it there for about 12 minutes. Once that time's up, you can take the pie weights and your foil, remove it, and leave the pie in for an extra 6 minutes, or until it starts to get golden brown. Once that's done, you're going to take the pie out and put it aside, and set your oven a little lower to about 350. And so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make our delicious pecan filling. So, like I said, there's no corn syrup in this. This is a simple filling to make. Really, you just take your ingredients and you stick them all in your pot, put it on low heat, make sure to stir it around a little bit, mix it up, and then just cook it until it starts to thicken. Now, it's important to keep it on low heat. Remember what I've said before. There's eggs in this. You don't want to scramble your eggs. That would be disgusting. So, once it's thickened, you can put it in your pie shell. Now here, you can optionally take some pecan halves and line the top. You can make, what I like to do, is just make a nice set of circles going from the outside to the inside. But you can do whatever you like. Once you've done that, or not, take your pie and put it in the oven for about half an hour. Once it's ready, there should be only a slight wobble in the top. So, you're going to take it out, and it's best to leave it to cool completely before you dig in. So you have your pie. Now what? Dig in? No. Well, you could, but I would recommend making some meringue to go on top like I did. And meringue is as easy as pie to make. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take 2 egg whites and 2 tablespoons of sugar, put the egg whites in a bowl, and start whisking them. This is where an electric mixer would really come in handy, though I don't expect you to go out and buy one. Although, Black Friday is coming up right after Thanksgiving, so maybe take advantage of it. Regardless, take your egg whites and a pinch of salt and whisk it until you get a nice soft foam. Then, add in your sugar and keep whisking it until you get nice stiff peaks. It'll look like marshmallow fluff when you're done. Then, use a piping sleeve, and you can put it on your pie. Now, if you don't have a piping sleeve, you can just use some plastic wrap or a Ziploc bag with a corner snipped off. Whatever you do, you can make some nice dollops around the pie. Really go crazy. Lay your creative side out. Then, what you can do, this is purely optional now, is take your pie and stick it back in the oven for a few minutes, only until you see the tips of your meringue start to brown. That makes for a very pretty look. Regardless, once you've done all that, you have a delicious pecan pie, goes well with some coffee, and corn syrup free, just like Mom likes it. Oh, one last thing though that I should mention. The amount for this filling really doesn't make enough for a traditional pie. It's really more of a tart. So if you're gonna make this, and you wanna make it as is, I recommend using a tart dish instead of a pie dish. If you wanna make it more like a traditional pie, just double the amounts in this recipe and it should turn out fine. So, dig in. I hope you try it. And I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Until next time, bye-bye.